Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second installment of Thoughts from the Throne, as Matt Hardy sits in one of his many thrones and speaks to each and every one of you. First off, let's take care of the charity that we were talking about last week. What was the number, baby?
It's 2422.
2422. That was the number of views that you guys all did for the first installment of Thoughts from the Throne. So that is the amount of money that I am donating to charity. So first and foremost, let's do that. 2422 is the check I am writing to the American Cancer Society, and that is going to be sent out tomorrow morning. I want to thank each and every one of you for actually viewing the first ever Thoughts from the Throne, and I'm very happy to donate the money to charity. If you guys don't know, myself and my brother, we lost our mom at a very young age from cancer. Cancer is a terrible disease, and I think the people of the American Cancer Society are doing a great thing. I think they're really trying to make things better. They're trying to find a cure. They're trying to help people. They're trying to find out new techniques to help ease the lives of people who have to deal with cancer. And it truly is a terrible and brutal disease. So I'm very happy to donate money to the American Cancer Society. Whenever I won Fear Factor in the early 2001, 2002, whenever it was, actually the $50,000 that I won from winning the entire show actually went to the American Cancer Society. So I'm always happy to donate to the American Cancer Society. All right, let's move on. As I sit here on a throne and I look like a king, I thought I'd segue into the King of Hearts. I'm sure many of you remember the great Owen Hart, which was known as the King of Hearts, whenever he was king of the ring. And he was just an overall great guy, and I want to share some experiences I had with Owen. When I first went to WWE, Owen was always nice to us. He was one of the few contracted guys that was always nice to the extras, to the job guys, and that meant a lot to us, especially coming in as big fans, knowing who these guys were, and knowing they were legitimately big stars. And I was blessed to get to wrestle Owen many times. And one of the early times I wrestled Owen was in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania at the Stabler Arena, if any of you remember that building. And Owen looked at me and he said, "You know what, kid, I think you got it. I think you can get a job here. I think you can work here one day. And tonight, whenever we have this match, even though we only have 4 or 5 minutes, we're going to show the office that you deserve a job here. And I'll tell you how we're going to do that. We're going to show them that you can hang with me when it comes to wrestling." He said, "But we need to go over some stuff. Come with me." And he had me follow him into the back of the arena. And whenever we're in the back of the arena, I was like, this is such a weird place. Like, he said he wanted to go over some stuff. Why didn't we go to the ring? And there was a big vinyl tarp, probably 20 by 20, that was just on top of a plain concrete floor. And he said, "Okay, let's just pretend this is the ring." He said, "What I want to do is I'm going to act like, maybe I get behind you and I take you down in a waist lock, and I get down and I'm riding you. And you're going to prove to them that I can't hold you down, because take off one way to one set of ropes and I may stop you and block you, but then go to your left, go to another set of ropes. You don't quite make it, but then go to your left again and go to the third set of ropes, and then you get it. And you're going to show tenacity. You're going to show resilience. You're going to show people that Owen Hart cannot hold down Matt Hardy." And we did that once, and it killed my knees because it was just a thin tarp, as I said, and it was a concrete floor. And he said, "Okay, let's do it again. That was close, but we got to perfect this, and we're going to get you a job." We did it again and again and again. We did it like 6 times. And I was like, I think we've got this right. He said, "Oh, we've almost mastered it, but not quite yet." And I was going, "God, why is he having me do this over and over?" And now he's like full on laughing. And a few months back, I was working with Bret Hart, and I told Bret this story about how Owen was ribbing me, like right when we first came up to WWE. And he... Bret fell out and had like a deep belly laugh, and it was so much fun to see Bret be so tickled over an Owen story like that. And I have a lot of love for Bret. Bret has always been great to me. Owen was always great to us. And Bret said, "Yeah, that sounds like Owen. Sounds like a rib he would do, whatever." And Bret then shared with me that he saw an early match that I had with Owen. He said, you could tell you were real green, but I could tell Owen liked you or thought you were good because he tried to give you a good match, tried to give you a competitive match, and he always did. Even after we signed contracts, and when we were still wearing the long, loud tights before we passed them down to the Young Bucks, we got to work with Owen and Jeff Jarrett quite a bit when they were the tag team champions. And Owen actually went to creative and asked to work with myself and Jeff at that time, and he wanted to put a little stock in the Hardy Boys. And I think he even pitched for us to win the World Tag Team titles, which I thought was awesome. What an honor. But I have nothing but great things to say about Owen. You hear how he was such a great professional and human being, and he truly was. He was, top of the charts, and it was really cool that he took a liking to Jeff and I because he thought we were a great young tag team. Speaking of great young talents, let's talk about Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards, the Wolves. This week, myself and Jeff, we're going to New York, and we're doing all the Impact Wrestling television tapings. If you're not up to speed on what's going on, Impact Wrestling is relaunching on a new network, Destination America, and we're doing all their television this week in the Manhattan Center. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great week of television. I have heard a little bit of what's going on, and you don't want to miss it. Myself and Jeff are going to be part of the Live special on Wednesday night on Destination America. Thursday, we are wrestling the Wolves in the main event of the tapings, and believe it, that match is going to make your ticket price, your price of admission worth it alone. We're going to blow people away with that match. And then on Friday, we're going to be in a cage match. And anytime you have the Hardys in a cage, you know it's going to be entertainment. But I want to talk a little bit about the Wolves. The first time I got to wrestle against Eddie Edwards was at 2CW. It's after I'd taken some time off. I was just stepping back in the ring, taking several months off to kind of heal physically, mentally, emotionally, everything. And my flights were delayed all day, and I got there right before bell time. I literally walked into the building. I said, "Hi, I'm Matt Hardy. Hi, I'm Eddie Edwards." We had 5 minutes and went to the ring, and we wrestled for 30 minutes, and we killed it. We had a great match. And one thing that I really remember after that match was Kevin Owens, to you WWE NXT fans. He was very complimentary of the match. He said a really nice tweet, a kind tweet saying how great the match was, especially considering we just went out there and we were winging it. And it's very cool to see a younger guy who's very athletic and can work the new style, but also the old style, kind of just go in the ring and call it, as the old vets say. And Eddie Edwards has that ability. Both him and Davey are great athletes. They're great in the ring. I like them both as people. And when it comes to tag teams, especially younger tag teams that are right now in their prime, the Wolves, the Young Bucks, the Briscoes, whenever they choose to team together, and Red Dragon, all four of those teams, they're like in another level. They're head and shoulders above all the rest. They're all very, very special. So I hope you guys do get to come out, and I hope you get to see TNA this week. It's going to be very special, and I'm very excited to be there. And I know myself, I'm excited to get back into a regular TV schedule and actually work on my persona, my character. Now more than ever, I'm a huge TV fan. I've been watching the Breaking Bad marathon, which happened over Christmas and New Year's, and the character depth and the character depth and the layers that they put on those characters and the stories and the consistency and the continuity really inspires me to try and do that with myself in wrestling, to make Matt Hardy very layered, very deep, so I can go different directions and also stay consistent. And that is one of the things that bothers me about a lot of wrestling you see on TV right now. I think television is going to force wrestling writers and wrestling personas to step up their game and just have a lot more continuity and also not insult the man's intelligence. So I'm going to do something special at the end of this Thoughts from the Throne. This is the shirt I was wearing when Bully Ray put Dixie through a table. That was a pretty amazing thing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell this ring-worn item for $75, and we're going to donate the money to charity. I gave money to charity. This coming week, you give money to charity. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week on Thoughts from the Throne.
Keep coming back. I got a family to feed.
Get with it, boy.